Nearly 6 years after the legal battle over smartphone design similarities began between Apple and Samsung, the two companies are now about to take the case to the United States Supreme Court on Tuesday, October 11th. At stake is the outcome of how much of a combined $548 million patent infringement ruling Samsung will be required to pay to Apple via Bloomberg. That amount is taken from Samsung's total profit of the 11 disputed smartphones targeted by Apple in the trial, an amount which Samsung refers to as a disproportionate sum for the patent infringement accusations leveled at it by Apple. The Cupertino company has remained adamant in regards to Samsung's blatant copying of various iPhone design features, still fighting to win the full $399 million reward. The case involves approximately another $150 million focused on Samsung's alleged infringement of Apple's pinch-to-zoom patent. Specifically, Apple's design patents cover the rounded corners of its phones, the rim that surrounds the front face, and the grid of icons that users view. Last December, the federal court in San Jose ruled in Apple's favor, and Samsung appealed days later in attempts to avoid the $548 million reward payment to Apple. In Samsung's appeal, the company gave the court the metaphor centering around owing the car's entire profits to a rival company for infringing upon their cup holder design. In urging the Supreme Court to take up the appeal, Samsung said the ruling was akin to awarding the entire profits on a car because of an infringing cup holder. Apple rejects that analogy, saying that its patented features are more like the design of the entire car. The issue now appears to be focused on the difference between the court determining if Apple's accusations cover individual components of patent infringement, or the entire product. In court records, Apple is said to accept that in some cases the patent owner can collect profits only attributable to a particular component, not the earnings of the entire Samsung smartphone. All the same, Apple said that Samsung failed to show that the patented designs applied only to part of its phones during the previous half-decade of court proceedings, so the latter company's defense of paying less for individual parts of the smartphone shouldn't be allowed to stand. According to lawyer Kanan Shanmugam, the case has essentially now devolved into a dispute over what party showed what at trial and who bears the burden of proof. In total, the patent dispute amounts to nearly $550 million aimed at Samsung. The company has already paid the amount, but a clause stipulates the potential ruling in its favor requires Apple to pay back the money. Just last week, in a completely separate Samsung vs. Apple lawsuit, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit granted Apple a $120 million win over Samsung concerning the company's slide to unlock patent.